I'd be surprised if I don't drop him a couple times. Whether I finish him, I know how tough he is. I know how durable he is. He's a savage. So obviously, I'd like to get him out of there. But I know I'm ready for 15-minute war. But I would be surprised if I don't drop him.
Sugar Sheikh O'Malley.
Sugar Sheikh.
Yeah, I love it. Welcome back to BT Sports. We haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. In fact, last time we seen you, we were in London. We were trying to force feed you jelly deals. You were not a fan. How's the cuisine out here in the Middle East?
Well, I'm on a pretty strict diet, so I haven't been able to enjoy too many meals. I've been doing a meal prep company, so I've just been eating the same stuff for the last 12 weeks.
This is the first time we're going to get to see you fight outside of Vegas in the UFC. Excited to finally get yourself, out there in the world?
Yeah, I mean, Vegas was always just very easy, 4 hours away from home. But this is, feels like home already. We've been here for 10 days. My sleep schedule's on point for the most part. It's weird. I'm going to be fighting at about 11 p.m. So usually I fight at 7 p.m. So that's going to be a little different. But yeah, I mean, it already feels like home. Everyone's been so awesome here.
Are you surprised how into MMA this part of the world is?
No, I mean, it's the best sport in the world. I'm not surprised at all. It's like there's not a sport cooler than fighting. So
fight weeks now finally underway. I popped my head in next door. All the fighters are next door. Everybody's queuing up for a picture with the Sugar Show. Nothing changes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just normal nowadays. Charles and his 37 people with him, and but it's been good.
You rolling with a big entourage this week?
I got 2 coaches, Emron and a video guy. So pretty small group. It's just I don't know. It's just so much nicer. The smaller, the better. I feel like.
This is a big opportunity for you this week, obviously. Poiter Jan's the former champion, still ranked number 1. When this opportunity came along, was it you that accepted first? Was it Jan? He seems to be telling people now he was the one asking for the fight. I find that hard to believe. How did it go down?
I beat up Pedro and I asked the UFC. I said, hey, I want to, let's book something. And Peter was literally the only guy in the top 10 that was not booked. Peter said no to Cheeto, and UFC probably went to him and said, hey, you don't really have a choice. You can't just turn people down. So I don't think he really wanted this fight. I don't think it was a fight he was asking for. I think he probably got forced into it a bit, and now here we are, a couple days away.
The bookmakers have the fight one way. I think people in the industry know it's not that fight at all. I think the main event, in fact, or the co-main event, both Aljo and TJ have spoken about the fight, and they've both accepted how close a fight it is. It must be frustrating for you because you've had 2 previous opportunities against top 10 guys. One, we get a freak injury. The next one, we get an eye poke. At this top 10 level, you don't seem to be getting the break, but you got the opportunity now to leap ahead of everybody else anyway.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that, but yeah, I haven't really got if that Pedro fight didn't go as planned, but if you can take anything away from it, it's like he didn't hit me. He didn't land anything on me. That was a top 10 guy. I was a dude that's fought and been in there with some of the best guys in the world, and he couldn't do anything to me. So that alone proved, at least to myself, I already knew I was capable of, competing with these guys. Peter's just I feel like the best version of that style fighting. When you're shorter, that's the style fighting I'd get inside. And he's the best version of that. So I'm very excited to go out there and prove that I'm the best in the world.
The first round against Pedro, was that what you talked about wasn't going to plan? Was the first 5 minutes? Because
no.
The start of the second round, you were...
I would say the first round was fine. He didn't hit me. I punched him in the eye so hard thought he got hit in the nuts. So, I mean, I pieced him up in the first round. It wasn't beautiful, it wasn't the best, but he didn't hit me. He threw a couple leg kicks. I checked him. The finish didn't go as planned. The fight was going fine. I won the first round. Maybe not if you're gonna count 3 random judges that don't know anything about fighting. If you care about their opinion, then yeah, maybe I lost that round. But if you know anything about fighting, he didn't hit me. I don't understand how that could be considered a round for him. So, yeah.
Are you, as a fan, I'm frustrated because I wanted the fight to play out. I wanted to see the Sugar Show. But that's twice now against top 10 guys. We haven't got what we're expecting, what we're waiting for, what we're anticipating. Has it frustrated you?
No, I care less. It's over. I'm literally fighting the number one guy in the world after I just fought Pedro. So the people that matter saw that I won that fight. It's not frustrating at all.
Do you see the Pedro fight then as the ideal way to kind of go into fight with Jan? Because he has got a similar style, small guy, pocket, tries to get inside.
I'd say, Peter's quite a bit better than Pedro, like on a different level as far as striking, the levels of striking. Peter's way better. The Pedro fight, literally haven't thought about it since it happened. I'm fighting Peter. That's it.
The second fight against Aljo showed that obviously Jan has still got some holes in his game, that ground game. Aljo took us back, he really couldn't get rid of him. That's something that you've entertained us with your stand-up, man, but we know you've got this ground game as well. Is there a chance we're going to see a lot more of that this weekend? Is that what you're thinking?
If he shoots, we'll grapple. I'm not going to go out there and shoot. I'm going to go out there and try to take his head off. And if you see Aljo take Peter's back, it doesn't really say Peter doesn't have good grappling. It's just Aljo's that good.
That's Aljo's game,
he's that good at that position, taking the back. That's where he's best. So you can't really take much of it saying like, oh, I could just go out there and grapple him. Maybe I could, maybe I will, but I think this will be a nice little kickboxing fight for the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. First time he's going to have done 3 rounds in a long time. I think that's something that might be playing on his mind, because he's the type of fighter that tends to start fights slowly. Traditionally, certainly since he's been in championship class, people say he gives away the first round because he's downloading data is the word people use. I'm not a fan of that term myself, but I'm expecting a different, he can't afford to give you a round, let's be honest. He can't afford to come out and have a look at you for 5 minutes. He's got to come out quick.
I think it's going to be a 15-minute sprint. I think he's going to come out there, try to prove a point that I don't belong in there with him, and he's going to go pedal to the metal and try to get me out of there. And, I feel the same way. So I don't think he's going to, I feel like he's going to have a very, very tough time downloading data on me. It might take him, I just don't think he's going to be able to figure me out if that's his plan, to go in there and try to figure me out in the first round and then win the second, third. I'd be very, very surprised and impressed if he could do that. Yeah,
you're the type of fighter that, to the eye of the fans anyway, you seem very unorthodox. It seems very kind of fluid in there rather than rehearsed movements and rehearsed combinations. Is that true? And if that is the case, is that why you are so difficult to prepare for?
There's definitely rehearsed combinations and certain things and setups that we're doing in there for sure. But when I get in there, I'm not really thinking about those. I'm more just kind of, flowing and letting them happen. You just can't be thinking in there too much. That's when you start getting punched. So if I can go in there, all the work's already done. I've already programmed myself to go in there and do what I need to do against Peter. Just now we have to wait 4 days, whatever, how many days it is, and weigh in, then the fight. And but yeah, I'm very, very prepared for this guy.
You're 5 years into your UFC run now. From a fan's perspective, you're like the people's main event in every event that you're in, even though you may not be the headliner. So you've got to be happy in that regard. But in terms of your progress, in terms of where you are in the rankings, are you happy with the last 5 years?
Yeah, I think I grew. I got a lot better in the last 5 years. I think I was kind of always ready to go with these top level guys, but now I'm ready to be champ. I'm ready to be champ, defend the belt against anybody. I feel like I could go in there and fight Aljo, fight TJ Saturday night and get the job done. So now 26 or 27, about to be 28, just entering my prime, and yeah.
It goes without saying that your arm raised on Saturday night, you're going to be calling out the winner from that co-main event. How do you see that one going between Aljo and TJ? How do you see the fight playing out?
Man, it's interesting. I think I wouldn't be surprised if either of them won. I'm leaning towards TJ a little bit. For whatever reason, I don't even really know. I think he may be more well-rounded. He's definitely a better striker, but that doesn't necessarily always matter. Aljo's weird style kind of is effective in fighting in MMA. So I don't know. I think TJ might get the job done, but I wouldn't be surprised if Aljo, wins a decision.
Yeah. Going on to your fight then. How does it play out between you and Jan?
I'd be surprised if I don't drop him a couple times. Whether I finish him, I know how tough he is. I know how durable he is. He's a savage. So obviously I'd like to get him out of there. But I know I'm ready for 15-minute war. But I would be surprised if I don't drop him.
Do you feel like he's undervaluing you? Giving you a little bit lack of respect?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think it's, it's because he doesn't know. Like, we haven't got to see how good I really am. I know how good I am. People don't, like the Pedro fight, if I would have went out there and put his lights out, which I was getting to, then he would look at me indifferently. He'd be like, okay, he is that good. We didn't get to see that. So it's not his fault to look at me as a certain level, but whatever level he thinks I am, I'm better than that.
We haven't seen a star with the kind of charisma and personality of yourself since Conor, and victory on Saturday, it's main events, it's headline fights, it's title fights from here on in.
Yeah.
That get you pumped? That get you excited?
Yeah, it's all, I mean, this is what you go back and watch my interviews on the Contender Series. I was 22 years old saying, like, I'm going to be in these spots. It's just a matter of time, a matter of knockouts, a matter of years, and I've been training for 12 years, so it makes sense that we're here now.
It's one thing saying it when you've just come into the UFC, though. Now we're there. Now you can touch it. It's real.
Yeah.
It's literally 15 minutes away. Everything you've been working towards.
Yeah.
Is there times when even you have to kind of, put my feet back on the ground?
Not really. I feel like I still got 10 more years of this, so I feel like I still got a lot of work to do. And I know there's these kids coming up are savages. There's 17, 18-year-old kids out there right now that are probably going to be in the UFC in 2 or 3 years that are going to be really good. So I feel like I just got to keep grinding, keep getting better. And I want to be dominant in the UFC. So I got a lot of work to do. But, yeah.
Do you see yourself as a multiple weight champion? Is it literally, is there any limitations on what you can achieve in this sport?
Yeah, I think I obviously have the frame for 45. I put on 5-6 pounds of muscle. I'll go up to 45. The weight cuts to 35 aren't easy. They're not the worst thing in the world. Well, they probably are the worst thing I've ever done, just cutting weight in general. But yeah, I have the frame for a 45er. I think I could be a big 45er in the next 4 or 5 years. So yeah, definitely focused on the belt at 35. Would love to defend it and then move up.
Love it. One final shout for Saturday night then. You're going to drop him. You're going to drop him early. You're going to hurt him. And the Sugar Show is going to steal the show, I guess.
Yeah, the Sugar Show is going to steal the show like I always do. Yeah, like I said, I do believe I will drop him. Whether I finish him or not, it's kind of going to be up to. We'll have to wait and see. But I believe I could. I know I can get him out of there. It's just a matter of getting out there and doing it.